All right, coming in at number 5, we are into the top 5 of our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings. We're heading to the QMJHL where we find winner Caleb Desnoyers.
Oh, Caleb Desnoyers is an exciting player, Ross. Let's get into his point totals with the Moncton Wildcats last year in the QMJHL. In 56 games, 35 goals, 49 assists, 84 points, and then got to say it with the caveat, plus minus, not everything, but plus 51. And then, Ross, you talk about him being a proven winner. You want guys to be able to produce just as well or at least effectively in the playoffs as well. You don't want him to be a regular season merchant. Desnoyers has proven he can do that in 19 playoff games, 30 points. I mean, this kid, he had more than an assist per game in the playoffs. He's an absolute stud.
And his team victorious in the QMJHL playoffs. They made it to the Memorial Cup, where it came out afterwards that Desnoyers was playing with 2 bum wrists and still was able to dominate in the faceoff circle, but he struggled points-wise going up against the other elite teams in the CHL. Especially you mentioned the assists. Well, that to me is why he's such an elite player, is he makes his teammates better. Whoever he plays with, all of a sudden they have career years, and Desnoyers does it in so many different ways to set up his teammates. He's 6'2", only 178 pounds. Definitely work to do to grow into that frame. Only turned 18 in April. He's a left shot centerman who is ranked as high as 4th on McKeen's and Corey Pronman's rankings. He's 5th for Scott Wheeler, 6th on Bob McKenzie's midterm rankings, and 7th for Craig Button, Locked On NHL Prospects, and Elite Prospects. Now, I might be sipping the Kool-Aid on Caleb Desnoyers, but you can't tell me there's 6 prospects in this draft class that you'd want in your system more than Desnoyers. I just think that you're getting the full package with him, from leadership to on-ice talent to defensive responsibility. I just don't know how this guy isn't the top 6 centerman in the NHL.
I'm with you, Ross. I think us having him at 5 is perfect. Every time I do a mock draft in my head or my rankings, I got him at 5. I think the Nashville Predators would be in a great spot to have him be the crown jewel of their prospect pipeline. But that's getting ahead of ourselves here. He was also the first overall pick in the 2023 QMJHL draft. He's a Quebec kid. Elite offensive player. Like, watching highlights of him, he has vision to read plays and get himself to prime areas to either score or be open for a pass. He has a good shot, but his shot isn't his bread and butter. Interestingly enough, he split his time as a center and a winger. I'm not sure what that split was, how often he was playing either or, but you see the versatility there with him. And EP highlights how he always involves his teammates in transition with short passes and give and goes. Like, it's just so fun to watch this guy, and you can really see him. I think, Ross, this is a guy that projects to be a centerman in the NHL just because of his vision and his elite playmaking and his ability to not be a liability defensively as well. This is a top 6 centerman for sure.
Easily. To me, I think the one of the most projectable top 6 centermen that this draft class has. And I think when you're looking at a draft class that's also filled with centermen, we're doing 3 today, and it feels like everyone in the top 20 can play center. Now, there's a decision to make for Desnoyers for next season. He was named captain of the Moncton Wildcats, but hasn't committed to going back there necessarily. So I'm curious to see what's next for Desnoyers. But if he is the captain, he's following in his brother's footsteps. His brother, a Flyers draft pick, by the way, a couple of years ago, plays in the AHL there. He signed still. So he's probably hoping, hey, forget 5. Let's get to 6. Come play with me. But his brother, Elliot Desnoyers, was a 6th-round pick, and he was also the captain of the Halifax Mooseheads a few years ago. But with Caleb Desnoyers, you talked about him being the first overall pick in the Q draft. Well, what did he do when he got there? How about almost a point per game as a 16-year-old dude? Like, this guy just scores everywhere he goes. I think that he needs to be in the NHL, not next year, play one more year junior, but I don't think this guy ever learns what the AHL is. I think he's a direct to the NHL type kid because of that versatility too, that you can play him on a 4th line and he won't be out of place necessarily, and then work his way up the lineup, work his way to the middle of the ice. And the team that drafts Caleb Desnoyers is getting a stud for years to come.
Now, do you think he could be a kid that considers college? You mentioned, though, the weight's a little low and that obviously he's been dominating in the Q. Do you think that would make sense for him? But where I don't think it's maybe a slam dunk that it's going to happen is this is a Quebec kid. Maybe he wants to be put in a position to play on a more francophone type team. I don't know how much stock the Quebec kids put into that. So it'll be interesting to see what path he goes, especially being named captain and being like, thanks, but I'm not sure I'm going to be back. That's an interesting move.
Yeah, thanks. I'll let you know. He's being heavily recruited right now. No decision has been made. Boston College would really like to add him to their lineup. Interesting. I think that the best bet for him at this point, so close to the draft, wait until you're drafted, see what the team next to you that takes you wants to do. Desnoyers' goal is to play in the NHL as soon as possible. So the way to do that is to discuss with the team that takes you. How many Sens stars for Caleb Desnoyers?
4.5 for me, Ross. Really, this is a 5-star guy, but the Ottawa Senators don't have a chance of drafting him. I like this kid a lot, and I'm jealous for the team that's going to get him. Hopefully, he goes to Nashville. I don't want him in our division.
I agree. With an average ranking of 5.71, Caleb Desnoyers comes in at number 5 on our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings. You can find all of our draft profiles free and available on YouTube.